Hello guys, before you start your watercolor illustration course, you need to know what kind of tools that you need to prepare. So the first one definitely is the watercolor paper. So in general, you have three types of watercolor paper, and then the first one that I'm going to introduce to you is the hot press watercolor paper. As the name suggested, the hot press watercolor paper, the process of making it is using the hot iron cylinder to press on it to create the very smooth textures on the paper. So normally the painter, they will use it to paint something with finer details, and also the artist want to have a very smooth transition during the wet blend and also the wet wash. So it depends on the purpose that what kind of subject that you are drawing, and then you can choose this type of watercolor paper. And then the second one will be the cold press watercolor paper. As you can see on the surface of the cold press watercolor paper, it has a rougher textures on it. It is a classic paper used by a lot of watercolor painter. Normally is when they want to paint a larger piece and then they want to create the impression textures on the subject that they are drawing. Like the tree stump, the rocks, maybe on something rougher surface. And then you can use the rough surface from the cold press watercolor paper to create that kind of impressions. So it is widely used by a lot of watercolor artists. And then the third types will be the rough watercolor paper. So the rough watercolor paper has the most texture watercolor paper. It has a lot of deep pits inside. So it depends on the style that you want to achieve. Normally the artists might like to venture the loose style of watercolor painting style. They will choose this type of watercolor paper to create that kind of impressions. So these three types of watercolor paper is very subjective. It depends on the purpose that you are using it, or whether you are comfortable with using the smooth surface or the rougher surface. So it depends on your painting style and also your personal preference. And don't forget to use the 100% watercolor paper. It is very durable and very absorbent. Even if you continuously wet wash and blend, the paper can still resist warping. And next, you need to have a set of nylon round-headed brush, which consists of size 1, 3, 5, and 7. The better the quality of the brush, the better the result. Following, you need to have the white gel pen to sketch the detail highlights. A set of intermediate grade watercolor, which I am using is the 36 half pan watercolor. And the masking tape for taping your watercolor paper on the hardboard to prevent warping. And finally, you will need a cleaning cloth and a water container with a sponge for cleaning the brushes during the painting process. So once you have done all the preparations, you are good to go. And see you in the coming sessions. Bye bye.